Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. There's surely a big game this weekend, isn't there? There's surely a big game, but there is transfer speculation around Cameron Carter-Vickers. But before we talk about Cameron Carter-Vickers, we need to talk about Yang. Yes, even though he's didn't have his shooting boots on yesterday, and it looks like his missus might have went home, which is to the disappointment of many Celtic fans because he was in such fine form, and with that fine form has came a recognition by the South Koreans. Yes, he's been called up for the squad for the World Cup qualifying matches. The Yonhap News Agency and several other South Korean papers, publications have come out on Seoul on the 10th of March in the midwest of the hot streak. Celtic FC winger Yang was just named in the South Korean squad on Monday ahead of two upcoming World Cup qualifying matches at home. The head coach unveiled that his 28-man team at the Korean Football Association, with the South Korea sets to host Oman on the 20th, and then Jordan. They play Jordan. That'll be an interesting game for them. The matches will be the 7th and 8th matches in the third round of the Asian qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup. South Korea are leading Group B with 14 points from 4 wins and 2 draws. The top two countries of each group. That's it. Yang, 22, is the hottest South Korean player in Europe for the past month, with 4 goals and 5 assists in 7 matches in all competitions. Hot player at Celtic. Who would have thought that Yang would be the hottest player in Europe for the South Koreans? That's fantastic news for Yang, but when it comes to transfer speculation, and I know we're miles away, and it is news. It's not coming from the mainstream media, really, but it is coming out of Everton. And there's a lot of Everton sites talking about it. Everton are set to lose a defender this summer. And of course, David Moyes, as he prepares to lead Everton. And the interesting fact about Everton right now is Everton are about to steal Leeds United CEO. So the Leeds United CEO is jumping ship. Where does this sound vaguely familiar? A CEO jumping ship to go to other teams. Sound familiar, anyone? Anyway, the CEO of Leeds is jumping ship to take over at Everton, who are a far bigger club than Leeds United will ever be. Let's face it. It does sound familiar, doesn't it, though? Anyway, they are saying that they are in the market for a defender this summer, and they want to sign Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic. Moyes is eyeing the move for the former Tottenham defender after his impressive displays, his highly impressive displays in Scotland. Is this the summer that we sell Cameron Carter-Vickers? I don't think so. He's got an absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to throw this into the equation. With Dane Murray coming through, and I always have to play devil's advocate on this channel, and as much as I want to keep Cameron Carter-Vickers, and I want to keep all our Celtic players, I want to keep as many as we can. I'm not for selling anyone this summer, maybe Rio Hatate, but that's about it. If we lose Cameron Carter-Vickers, will it be such a big thing? Now let's hear me out on this one. The Champions League, over the last 3 seasons, Cameron Carter-Vickers has missed the opening matches in the Champions League on a regular basis. And let's hope his fitness can stay so he doesn't miss them next year. But if he goes to Everton, he's not going to be in the Champions League. But could Celtic unleash Dane Murray and bring through Dane Murray? Is he up to the task? We're all speaking about the fact that we need to bring more youth players through. He's a Scottish player. Is he better than Stephen Welsh, Dane Murray? Have we seen enough of him? We've not really seen enough of him as yet. People will be reminded of his introduction to Celtic at Champions League level when he slipped at Aston Villa away, and then he slammed the pitch because it was a terrible mistake. But when he's been introduced, he has been a player that looks as if he can hold his own. Will he be the player to replace... Now, I'm just putting it out there. I'm not trying to get rid of Cameron Carter-Vickers before you start. I'm not trying to get rid of him at all. But I'm just thinking ahead. And it is like we're going through a fire sale change at Celtic this year with all the players that are reportedly going to be on the eyes of other... I mean, when it comes to it, there's surely a big game this week, and expect a few more headlines of massive Celtic transfers this summer. It always happens. It's funny how you never hear the big transfers for that mob across the city, selling players for 30 or 40 million. But maybe that'll come with the new takeover. I wonder what they'll be called. I wonder what they'll be called after the takeover. I wonder if they'll change their name from Sevco 2012. New takeover, another new company. Many new companies can they go through, and then they'll go, oh, there's the Pacific Shelf mob talking about us again. Man, fuck's sake, yeah, fucking rock that. Anyway, we move on for them, because I'm sure we're going to have plenty of time to wind them up, because let's face it, 55 is inbound. Yeah, the 55 is inbound, and Celtic can take a massive step to the 55 this weekend. Yeah, we've got to keep on saying it all week. The 55's incoming. All right, up you. But it is a massive game this weekend. Brendan Rodgers did speak to the media yesterday. The Celtic boss after the game. What can you say about the Hibernian game? I felt disappointed by Hibernian going to a back five and then playing that really defensive game at Celtic Park after the way they played it at their home ground, and going all defensive for the best part of 60 minutes before they changed it and wanted to attack. I thought we'd kind of hoped we'd got away from that at Celtic Park, and the teams were going to come and have a go. And I think if Hibs had a go, there was more chance that Celtic wouldn't have got their own way. I mean, Celtic got their own way because they were sitting back in a back five, and it always happens. But I felt a little bit disappointed. I did feel a little bit disappointed by Hibernian yesterday not giving their all. Brendan Rodgers vowed that his team were ready to atone the New Year defeat by the Sevconian after they secured a comfortable win. It was a comfortable win. It was never really in doubt, was it? I mean, Hibs had 3 chances at goal the whole match. That tells the story of the game from yesterday. Adam Ida scores, fantastic goal, flicks it into the back of the net. The ball comes in for Alistair Johnson, and Dyson Maeda does what Dyson Maeda did. Dyson Maeda's went to feel unlucky that he didn't get 3 yesterday. Kasper Schmeichel pulled off a good save yesterday, and after they took a cheeky throw in that was 10 yards, 15 yards further up the pitch from what it should have been, but the referee just let them go on with it. There was a few dubious calls yesterday, and you always knew that the referee was never going to give us. We concentrated yesterday, we got the job done, we were competitive, we were aggressive, we were strong. It's all the things that we need to do, but we weren't where we at our best yesterday. Let's be honest. We got the job done, and that's all that matters. We're through to the next round of the Cup. We go back to Hampden. We're back to the place that we really call our second home, and it puts us on course for a potential treble. Trebles are never easy, although certain fans of a certain age will think that they are at Celtic, and Celtic's all about winning trebles, and it's all about winning everything every year. But us of an older generation, and a lot of the older guys on this channel will know that through the 90s and everything, it was a hard time being a Celtic fan. But they are not the team. They are not the team that they once were in the 90s, even though they have the manager from that era, who was the Mr. Bigoted Barry Ferguson. Yes, Bullcut Barry, as you're calling him, I see in the comment section. Asked if it was going to be a little bit extra motivation. Was the defeat at Easter Road extra motivation for the win yesterday? Brendan Rodgers said yes. He was asked about, is the defeat at Ibrox in January, is that extra motivation? It's just another game, but revenge would be sweet, and we all know that it's just one more game for Celtic. That's the way that we look at it. It's one more game that gets us closer to winning the title. Yes, that title, again, the 55, inward bound, 55 incoming, not a fake 55 with bought titles, with overinflated wages and EBTs and stuff. During the 1990s, this is a title that was won on merit. On merit, yes. And them singing, bringing back, we're going to be talking about them a lot. I'm not going to name them, I'm just going to call them them. Bringing back The manager that won it during the COVID year, is everybody going to be getting jags again and we're getting locked up again? Because that's the only way that they can win it with no fans to boo them. No fans to boo them. But anyway, who cares about them? Because there will be 2,500 of them at Celtic Park next weekend. Dyson Maida scores a fantastic goal again. The Duracell bunny man is only bringing big attention to himself for the summer, if you ask me. But Brendan says it's normally how we do it. If we have an adverse result in a game, we make sure that we make amends the next game. I just feel that we're going into this running and we don't seem to be hitting the heights. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, we are winning. But last year, we seemed to go on a run. We seemed to up the game. And maybe with these 3 games at Celtic Park in a row, maybe things will turn the corner with the game this weekend. It's going to be a difficult game. Bigoted Barry's going to be right up for it. He's going to be right up for it, wanting his team to be up for it. They're going to think that they're absolute superstars. Hey, we won in Europe. The one in Europe, they always seem to get it. But they're playing at a level that's way below. I mean, it's Europa. And whilst there are some fantastic teams in there, when you look at the positions in the leagues that they play in, I mean, look at Man United. It's absolutely woeful this season. If you look at Tottenham Hotspur, also Rans, they're going to win absolutely nothing. And they're also looking at the Europa as a potential, it could be a competition that we could win just to get that trophy that Ange said that they would win. But when it comes to them, when it comes to the domestic football, they seem to implode a bit. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of boos at full time at Celtic Park from their supporters if Celtic go out and do it. And let's face it, it could have been a completely different scoreline at Hibs yesterday. It could have been about 4 or 5-0. If Dyson Maida, I don't even know how he managed to put 2 of them past. I mean, he put one over the bar and one at the side of the post. And you're like, how on earth did he miss that? Dyson could have been on a hat-trick yesterday. And then when you look at Rio, and the one that Callum McGregor had saved, you've got to say, the one that was a thunderbolt of a shot for Kalmack. And normally they go into it, and fair play to the keeper. The keeper made some fantastic saves. And fair play to Hibs, by the way. Fair play to Hibs to getting so far in the cup and turning their season around. Completely turning their season around. So fair play to them. I mean, they were ranked rotten bottom of the league at one point under Hearts. And then they managed to get up the league and leave Kilmarnock down there. So fair play to them. But you want a stronger SPFL and you want stronger teams and you want good cup competitions. But I just felt yesterday that Hibs let themselves down. And I think that they will maybe think that as well. I mean, it's okay going to Celtic Park and having a go, and getting beat 2-0. But if they see them actually having a real good goal for 90 minutes, where they didn't, they kind of went that 5 at the back and passive and defensive for the majority of the game and then hoping to try and hit on the break at the end, and that's never going to work, is it? Just Celtic just get into their mode. Will Celtic score more than 3 goals this weekend? Tell me in the comment section down there. Will Celtic score more than 3 goals this weekend? They will obviously feel buoyed by the fact that they won a cup this year. Yes, they won a cup. It was called the We Beat Celtic Once a Season Cup. I'd rather win a treble and be in the Champions League and get 50 to 60 million out of the Champions League every year. Just saying, just putting it out there. It is what it is. Make sure you join me tonight, 8 p.m. Celtic Park time, where we can talk about the implications of the game this weekend, and we can talk about Callum McGregor, because I feel we need to talk a little bit about Callum McGregor. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been linked with Everton as Davy Moyes, who's went back to Everton, the club that he did so well with back in the day before he went to Man United and took that poison chalice after Alex Ferguson. In other Celtic news, the job was done yesterday. The treble is still on. That's all that matters, and it's on to the next game and the next big game. And that's what it is this weekend. It is another massive game. It is a Glasgow derby. Yes, it is a Glasgow derby. And it's just a game that gets us 3 points closer to the title, really, isn't it? That's it. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.